this sound familiar? The days you've got a ton of different things, all people clamoring for your attention. You got your spouse, you got your friends, you got your work, you got your neighbors all saying, hey, look at me, look at me.
They all want you. Your attention. Well, you may feel like you end up not being able to pay attention to any of them, and then everyone feels out of the loop, including you. Studio 5 relationship coach Matt Townsend says it's a chronic problem and one that even gets him.
Hello, over here.
Oh, pardon me.
Pay attention to us, please.
Sorry.
And you should know about this. You recently had a little experience. You were like zoning out. You're the classic non-attention.
I think that happens every day. Doesn't it? Does it not?
Don't be rude.
Oh.
I was actually driving down here one time. And actually, one time I got in an accident when I wasn't paying attention on the way here. And the other time, I drove all the way here. It takes me 20 minutes to get here.
Yeah. From
Payson. And when I got here, I had been listening to CNN French channel. So it was really cool because I knew a lot en français, but I didn't understand one word they said. And then all of a sudden I realized, holy cow. I didn't get any of that news.
Why was it even on CNN French when you got in the car?
I don't know. I like to do a little French.
Okay.
It's the language of love.
You don't speak a lick of French. So you drove 20 minutes and you did not understand one thing, that was happening.
That's Spanish, actually. Oui. I didn't. See, that tells us about attention. So tell me, I'm going to ask you guys, you didn't know I was going to do this.
I'm nervous.
I'm throwing it at you. What watch you wearing today? No, I'm carrying it. I'm kidding.
I do know that.
Why is attention so important? Why is getting someone's attention that you really care about so important?
To you?
To you. Why do you care?
It shows they care.
How?
This is so important. They are engaged in you and your life, and in a small way, I think everyone needs that validation.
See, so think what it is. They are in to you. They are giving you space, occupying their brain, their time, their head, and they're letting you into them.
Because I think we've all been there where we walked in and we're trying to talk to someone, a spouse, a friend, a coworker, whatever it may be. Yeah. Not coworker, but other coworkers.
I always get pulled into these examples.
Because you're always focused on your coworkers.
But you know, and they're doing something else while they're, you know.
Yeah, like she's always looking away.
Yeah, they're like typing or doing something, or they're making brownies or something like that, and you know they're not listening to anything that you're saying.
And at work, we're okay with that, you know, because it's about work. But when it's your partner or your kids, we want their attention. And you know when they don't have it. Like with you guys, I know when you're listening in your earpiece, because you always roll your eyes back and you go like this. So then I know it doesn't matter what I say.
You know what? I like where you were going with that, though, because giving them a piece of you. I mean, there are very few ways you can really do that. I mean, you can really give it yourself.
It's that personal. I mean, I can be in your presence, but it doesn't mean I'm giving you my attention. So this is the way. Now, we're going to just talk about 3 tools, 3 ideas, okay? They're not huge, they're not a big deal, but the first one is you have to make time to pay attention. Now that sounds like crazy. Why would we need to make time to pay attention? Except it's really less about the time, it's more about the attention. I can give you all the time in the world, but it's the attention that you're really seeking. Now, here's the deal. I just got back. This incredible tan I'm sporting. I spent 4 days with a bunch of kids doing a pioneer trek.
Good for you.
We had nothing but time around a little box handcart trying to grow and learn and tell the stories about how the pioneers came across the plains. But when we had time, it's amazing how much attention you can give if you're actually paying attention to giving attention.
But on the other hand, because I can picture also people zoning out, and even though you're all there for an hour together, I might not give you a single lick of attention.
That's exactly right. So one of the things we taught our kids is you're going to want to think about how good your home used to be and how great it's going to be when you get home. I just want you to be present. When we have time together on this handcart, every one of us, let's be in the moment. So we'd go around, and every once in a while I'd call out their names, and they'd have to say, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in, to get everyone back present.
To get them anchored there.
And our marriages are the same way.
You have to be in. You have to be present. One time I had my 10-year-old sister Sadie over for a spend-over, right? A weekend spend-over. The whole weekend was dedicated to her, doing start to finish all things involving her 10-year-old life. And I worked my butt off to make that weekend a success. Well, then, 3 weeks later, fast forward, I'm passing through. I pull through, take her out of school, get her a Happy Meal. 20 minutes in the car, but I was there with her more than I was that weekend when I was planning things. And I drop her off, and she goes, "That was the best day of my life." After I had just spent a whole weekend. But I was so stressed trying to get to activity.
And don't you think our world doesn't facilitate this? Our world's now so interruptive that we're not even paying attention to attention. So one thing is we got to make time for it. And there's time in the car, in the drives, when, you know, at night when you have some time to talk to each other, little phone calls here, little phone calls there. Focus in and make the time. The second key, though, is you have to notice when someone when you receive someone's full attention. When you are talking to someone and you actually know they're listening, notice it. Notice it. And then what do you think you should do? If you want to create more moments like that, what should you do when you notice it?
Would you acknowledge it? Would you, or you give it back? Okay.
I probably would. Eventually, I would say, after a good talk, I'd say, you know what, thanks for giving me the time. I really needed that today. Thanks for focusing on me for a few minutes there. That really felt good. To validate it. Because if we want it to grow, whatever we focus on is going to grow. So if you see someone paying attention, notice it. One of the big problems is we have people that pay attention to us and sometimes we don't notice it. And we're not in a moment where we want to give attention.
Right.
So we just kind of glance over opportunities, okay? So when you see it, make sure you notice it. And then the last one is to show your love by giving people attention. Try this. Just seriously try, Darren. We'll start with you. Oh, Darren, when you go home tonight, seriously, sit down with your cutie and just say, tell me about your day. Tell me about it.
I hate that.
What would she say?
Oh.
Say, what's wrong with you, dude?
Yeah, she would.
Just say, did you not watch the show?
Well, she even did that yesterday because I came home. She wanted my attention, and I was a little distracted with stuff. She said, no, over here. She like dragged me. She made me sit down on the couch. She said, okay, right here, and she like drew me in. I couldn't get away, but yeah, I mean,
were stuck.
Stop it.
See,
I love my sweetie.
That's the power, and the power. Like when we got these kids at this trek, there were so many times we couldn't get their attention, but when we finally got it, is when I noticed we had the big moments, the big kind of transcendent aha moments. Is when you have their attention, you got to keep it. You know what the average attention span is?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What was the question?
Sorry, I'll slow down.
Oh, okay.
The average attention span of a human is 24 seconds. So you got 24 seconds before we're naturally inclined to do something else or think something else. So you got to keep stimulating.
I love, though, back to your trek, just how you ask those kids, are you in?
Are you in?
It's pausing. I love that. Are you in?
I do that.
Asking ourselves, are you in?
I do that. I do that when we start a workshop. I make everyone get in. So they're all in the room. I don't want them to fight all the way here and then not be in the room for the next 2 hours. So leave whatever you've got, leave it there and get in. Or I do it with my kids when I teach primary, for crying out loud. It works everywhere.
Those poor kids.
So good to be back, by the way. I can't tell you.
Off the track. Give us the details.